Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Lance Meister from Tasty Minstrel Games, looking at Hisashi Hayashi's Yokohama, which he published from his own Okazu brand, and which TMG is now doing its own version of.
Well, I mean, yes, we're doing our own version, but it's pretty much a port from the one that he did as well. The Kickstarter goes live on June 21st, so very, very soon.
Okay.
And yeah, we're going to be presenting this and publishing it and getting it out there to everybody else's hands because it's an amazing game, and we wanted to make sure that everybody got the fun of playing Yokohama.
Okay. This is set up for a 4-player game.
That's correct.
Because you do a ziggurat based on the number of players with particular tiles.
Yes.
You pull in or out based on
So
that.
you'll pull certain ones, but one thing to make sure is that the smaller tiles are the ones that people are playing on. These larger tiles are actually that like you attach are kind of like the outside boards that you get certain actions and orders and resources and what have you from as well. So, and it is random. The entire thing is randomly set up every single time, and so like
with the randomized cards,
yes,
things for you.
So there's 3 different levels of randomness when you set the game. So it is one of those every session will be different type of situations. And the really nice thing I always like is that these cards, you actually have more than you have the spaces. So you can't really just always guarantee, I know that card's going to be out there. And the same thing goes for these little tiny resources. There's more of those as well. So you can't ever guarantee it.
Isn't it a 4th level with the A, B, and C goals?
A, B, and C, like those are your achievements. And if you succeed at them, you get victory points. So once again, then of course you have more of those cards as well. So there's all those wonderful variants, so you can make sure that it is a fresh experience each time you play.
Okay, what is this experience?
Okay, well, the idea, the theme behind the game is that this is Japan during the, I think is it Meiji? Thank you. See,
I think so.
Yeah, there you go.
I say a few things.
Okay, so during that period of Japan, where outside influencers and investors were realizing that they could get, they could invest and get cheap commodities from Japan. And so then you are a Japanese merchant and you're trying to capitalize on this era and becoming, very, very wealthy and powerful. And of course that is victory points, and whoever has most victory points then wins the game. Okay. And the whole process of the game, the main mechanism of the game, is that as you play, you will be placing your assistants, which are these little cubes. And you'll be dropping them on your turn on different locations on the board. And after you do that, your big president will then take any path he wants. So as long as there's a cube of yours, and there's other ways like technology cards that kind of change this up, but the basic mechanism is that he has to follow whatever path. And the thing is that the path could be super long because you've built this up over several turns.
Right.
And so then, he walks all the way over to a location. When you get there, you collect all of the assistants that are on that spot, and then you total up your total power on that location. And then you get to activate the power on that spot. So in this case, you have a president pawn, and an assistant. That would be 2 power, and then you collect 2 tea leaves. Now, if you had been there, and there you go. If you had been there and you had over time built up more assistants in that location, perhaps you were putting one there, and you were just going other places and doing. And then finally, you went there. You'd have a power of 4, and then you'd collect 4 tea leaves for your action. Okay. As you play the game, you'll get to place storehouses on locations, and then you can see there's those 4 locations, and they give you a reward for building a house. So you'd have 4 victory points for that one. If yellow built it, they could get 2 coins. There's also then trading houses. Exactly, there's trading houses they build for a big push and lots of points. But then. And you get to be able to build if you do a power 4 or power 5. That's why those 2 numbers are in red. But that would add a power as well. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for blue. And so, and if you're the first person to do a power 5 and this token is still there, you then get even more bonus. So that would even you get 5 tea leaves and you get another 3. So you just really cash in on the tea leaves if you did that in that location. Okay. So, and that's the basic mechanism. The big thing is that if another person's president pawn is in a location and you want to put an assistant in that spot, you have to pay them a coin for the right to have your person go and work on that location. If on your turn you want to go through a location where somebody else's president pawn is, you have to pay them a coin for the right of traveling through a location. So there is some interactivity between the other players. You can kind of see when somebody is maybe heading towards a certain spot. and maybe you can mess with them just a little bit, preventing them for their big turn. And that's what I kind of found in this game. Yes, you do have scores that have 100 or more. It's very common, especially with the end game scoring things, where like certain majorities and things like that give you that. But what I've really discovered is this is kind of like a chug cash in game. It isn't like, oh, I'm getting 5 points, 3 points, 2 points, 4 points. You get like smaller points, but you're really trying to get these orders. And the orders have like different rewards on the bottom. I don't know if they can see that or not.
On here,
but the orders have different rewards on the bottom. So like these are like a 5 points, 2 coins, and you get an employment action there. And then there's other orders that like cash in like a lot of points, like this 11.1. And so you'll have a situation where people will get like, they'll build up all these resources and they'll have like 2-3 orders and then like cash them all in for like 28 points.
And getting the orders as well, you can't just go grab them. You have to
you have to actually go and collect them and make deals, and with different levels of power. And the big thing is that I think what makes this game unique is that buildup of power on locations, and it is very strategic because you are like end goaling things. You want to like complete those orders, or you want to be able to do the customs management over here and turn in import boxes so you can get lots of points there, or donate to the church in this location and you can get mega points there. And to do that, you have to kind of work on it and try to make sure that you can create it. And it isn't a situation where there's multiple layers to how you get to score your points. It isn't a situation like and I hate the terminology of point salad, but it isn't like a situation where it's just like, oh, every turn you're getting 5, 6, 7 points and you're trying to micromanage. It's more of a take a few turns to get that big, chunky, lots of victory points type of situation.
Okay. So.
And this is technology.
Here.
Okay.
Here.
So and fully admit right now, because this is the Okazu brand, the fact that there is the Japanese and English on here. So, but
font's a little small.
The font's a little tiny. This will not be the case.
Yeah.
So you do have technologies, and these are basic ways that like you break the rules. So there's these technologies that will allow you to travel through a president's without having to pay them. Things that allow you to put an assistant on a president without having to pay them. Things that allow you to not have to have a path, like because you have a tramway. So like if you were here and you had that technology, you could just go all the way over there without having a path. So it's just, and they add a lot to the game. They add a lot of different varying levels of strategies. This just basically, to once again make the game unique and make the gaming experience unique as well.
Okay. All right.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
So what you see in front of you, the very, very common reaction when anybody sees this board, and I've gotten this from every single person nearly that I've demoed this, is everybody's like, oh my gosh, because there's so much, right? It looks really imposing. But it's one of those games that everybody said after a turn they got it, and they totally understood it, and they saw what's going on.
I did not make the connection before. Someone just said like, it's Istanbul, but they like it better. And it is in the sense that, of course, you have assistant. Like this guy apparently is a little mentally inept, and he cannot lead himself around the country. He needs people to be like, over here, come this way. I bought you a ticket.
Yes.
You can
and that's a very common perception as well.
And then he comes over here and he eats his assistants.
Yes, exactly. He's a kaiju, walking. But no, but the big thing is, of course, it's TMG, so we're going to deluxify the heck out of this. There will not be cardboard tokens. These will be wooden resources. The houses will be wooden resources. All the coins will be metal. So, I mean, we are going to make the game look very, very pretty.
This is already pretty heavy.
It is pretty heavy, but it's going to be another big giant box full of wood. So there you go.
Okay, there you go. Giant cardboard box full of wood. As promised in Yokohama.